Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. I will 100% take that. My number one rule in football: if you cannot win, don't lose the game. And that is absolutely perfect. We had chances to win the game, but they definitely had better chances to win the game more than us. And this is the second time you're going to Anfield and not losing. We obviously drew at Chelsea as well. We beat Man City this season. So after half of the season, we haven't lost to Liverpool, we haven't lost to Man City and those teams. I am happy. I'll definitely take the draw. It's not an easy place to go to Anfield. It's never an easy place. You have to go there. You have to put in the tackles. You have to be lucky a few times here and there. You have to commit, man. You have to really commit. In these days, you have to have men in your team. And oh my goodness, Declan Rice again. He was everywhere. Saliba once again, absolutely fantastic. Rare, no errors from Rare and everything. I know we will talk about all the rest of the players. We will talk about Zinchenko and all that. But that will be later on. I'm so happy that we got the draw. We are still top of the table going into Christmas. The best Christmas present. Let me know what you guys made of the game. How do you feel about the draw? Are you desperate for a win, or are you like praying that the time was over? Or are you praying like the referee blows the whistle, like we should have gotten the AFCON the referee to blow the whistle early for us? Man, that's always tough going to Liverpool. And the last couple of times I think we've played around this time of the day on a Saturday. I think we lost to Newcastle and we lost to Aston Villa. So it's good that we went there and we picked up the draw. Yes, we scored early, and especially the first 25 minutes, we were really good. The first 25 minutes we could have had 2 or 3 goals. Never have I ever seen Arsenal going to Anfield and performing like that for like the first 25, 30 minutes, apart from the last 2 times we've gone there. Usually we go to Anfield, if you have 1 or 2 shots in the game, we are so happy with that. Now we've gone there, we've absolutely, I think, played well, especially in the first half as well. Second half, we did well defending. Apart from that time where Salah and Trent went through and they hit the post, I don't think we were really exposed. I think Ben White dealt well, maybe apart from once. Zinchenko did make a lot of errors today. We'll talk about him later. But Gabriel and Saliba, once again, absolutely solid. Havertz, I'm hoping you guys are starting to see what Havertz does. Even if he doesn't score today, just get those fouls, just make it hard for the opponents, win every battle, put the tackles in, run into the box, just give them a headache. And I think Havertz did well that again today. Odegaard, a bit all over the place, especially in the second half, especially for the chance that Liverpool had to hit the post. It was an Odegaard mistake. But we'll cover all that. Let me know what you guys made of the game. Let me see how you're feeling as we break down the game. Mutali says, sound. Let me just confirm my sound is okay. Timothy says we miss Timber. Absolutely. Now, I'm not going to go into Zinchenko as most people have. I know Zinchenko did not have the best of games. I know that. But this particular game, if everyone is fit, Zinchenko does not play this particular game for us. That's the problem. If Tomiyasu and Timber are fit, they obviously play this game. I still don't want Zinchenko to be moved to midfield, but obviously it's better than having Zinchenko against Liverpool and Man City. I wouldn't want that. Him against like those tricky wingers, it's tough. Zinchenko, you want him when you're going to dominate possession and he goes up front and he does a lot of stuff. In those games, he's going to do good. But this particular game against Salah, especially, tough. And then we'll also break it down later on. But you see the way Saka has the ball and there's like 2, 3 Liverpool defenders marking him. Every time Martinelli has the ball, there's 2, 3 defenders marking him. I don't know why we don't do that, because every time Salah has the ball, it was only Zinchenko, and it's always going to be tough. You against Salah, it's going to be tough. Always going to be tough. There's some obvious decisions where you're not supposed to let Salah come to his left foot. That is supposed to be easy. But the rest of the game, if Salah is up against, he will get past it 2 or 3 times. So I would have preferred Zinchenko to have someone else to help him out as well. But I'm still not saying Zinchenko sell him and all that. He's not the best defender that we have, that is for sure. But hopefully in January we can sort that out if Tomiyasu and Timber are not coming back, because in games like this, I would have loved Tomiyasu to be on that wing instead of Zinchenko. That was good, says that draws good, says Emmanuel, for sure. Lee says, I think Kai had a good game. Joshua says Declan, that is just enough. Just his name, that is enough. That guy is absolutely amazing. I saw him everywhere, winning tackles. Even when Zinchenko made a mistake in the second half, guess who was cleaning the mess for him? Declan Rice. Definitely happy, says Lee. Yes, says Mary, Gunners for life. I'm happy with the draw. Hope you're doing well. Glenn says, okay, I am. The last few minutes, I just wanted the game to end. Same, man. When they added 5 minutes, I was like, man, I'll take the draw and just blow the whistle. Tough. It's never easy going to Liverpool. The reason why it's him, because he's moving forward and the team can't cover up. Unfortunately, you're right. Poor defending from Zini, but he tried. If Tomiyasu was there, would be different. That is right. It's not his it's not supposed to be his job is being a defender, yes, but that is not his strong point. Like marking a player like Salah, you're going to have it tough. Even Tomiyasu would have had it tough. So let's hope we can sort that out in January. But let's get to the match reaction. Let's start with the team news that we had today. This was Arsenal's team today. We obviously Raya goalkeeper. I think he did okay. Zinchenko left back, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White. That is all we have basically. So there's nothing we can do in terms of that. Some people are arguing play Kivio instead of Zinchenko, but I'm sure you watched Kivio at left back the last couple of games. He was not good. So up against Salah, tough. Havertz, Rice, and Odegaard in midfield. And then Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli up front. And then on the bench, Ramsdale, Kivio, Cedric, Elneny, Jorginho, Trossard, Smith, Ronketia, and Nelson. Now, my prediction for the game, before that, the lineup I was totally okay with because there's nothing really you can do. That's all we have. We don't have Partey, we don't have Tomiyasu, we don't have Timber. I cannot wait for those players to come back. And then on the bench, we basically just have, Jorginho, Trossard, and Ketia to come on because we don't really bring on Smith, and Nelson that much. So that is our team. So you just hope that team performs. And the way we started that game, absolutely fantastic. The first 5 minutes of that game, I think we had like 4 shots right away. I love the way we started the game today. The pressing from Odegaard, from Havertz, from Saka, from Martinelli. We won a couple of corners right away. We had a header, I think, that was saved by Alisson, a shot that was saved as well. And then we got a free kick, Odegaard water cross. Gabriel with the finish to make it 1-0. Brilliant header. I think that is his first goal this season. I think he hasn't scored this season. I think Saliba scored. I'm sure Zinchenko scored. I'm sure White, Tomiyasu have all scored. I think this is Gabriel's first goal of this season, and he's usually a very, very good player in terms of the opposition box. He's a player who loves scoring goals. So to score that early against Liverpool in the first 3 minutes of the game, absolutely perfect, because now that means they're going to open up and they're going to have to attack you. They're going to have to, open up spaces for Martinelli and for Saka on the other side and all that. And that's exactly what happened. They checked it, obviously. I thought they were going to remove it as per usual, but they actually gave us the goal today. And then the first 10 minutes of the game, the rest of the 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes, we were absolutely great. Martinelli, Saka. Martinelli in that first half was absolutely incredible. The only thing, decision-making. Like if Martinelli, the last 4 games I've watched for Martinelli, Brighton one, this one, even the Aston Villa one, he is very quick. Did you see him today in the first half? Then no one could catch him. He was going past 4 or 5 players. But last decision making, man. Because if Martinelli, like sometimes I'm like, shoot the ball, sometimes it's passing, sometimes, some people say, okay, not people, everyone says he doesn't get his head up to see, to look at the pass and all that. But in terms of just effort and all that and running and giving the defenders headache, Martinelli was incredible. But last decision making, because if we finished our chances, I think this is definitely why we need a striker. Last season, I said you don't need a striker. This season, I definitely think we need a striker. Because the number of chances we got in that first 10 minutes, it could have been 3-0 to Arsenal. Because Jesus missed one, I think Martinelli missed another. I think Jesus missed from a corner as well. We would have had 3 or 4 goals because Jesus, Odegaard, Martinelli in those first 10 minutes, they were absolutely incredible. Havertz as well. Havertz in terms of interceptions is absolutely great as well. Saliba showed us his defending too in that first half. White as well. Ben White, he didn't get really exposed there at all. I know people don't like some people, at least like 30% of Arsenal fans are not sure about Ben White's defending and all that. But today I saw him defending really well in that first half. The first 20 minutes, he was putting in tackles and all that. And then Declan Rice is always absolutely perfect. But the thing with Liverpool and Brighton and those teams that we've played the last 2 weeks, if you make one error, you're going to be punished. That's the problem. I always expected Liverpool to score. I said 2-2. I never think we're going to go there and keep a clean sheet. It's tough. Liverpool have lost 1 game out of the last 50 at Anfield. I think the last 2 years they've lost once at home. So it's not easy to go there and win. And I think that team was like Real Madrid who went there and won. I don't think they've been beaten in the league at Anfield for such a long time. You can't beat them there because of Salah, Trent, all those guys. And that pass from Trent to Salah, fantastic pass. But for Zinchenko in that position, you have to defend better, man. You have to defend better. Now, when the first one passes you, you still haven't lost the battle because Salah still has to come and get past you. What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to take him to his right foot and let them win a corner. You can't let Salah go to his left foot. And then I saw Zinchenko trying to throw his leg and almost giving away a penalty on top of that. You can't do that, man. If you give Salah that much space, it's going to be a goal. It's going to be an easy goal for Salah. He never misses that, and he's in trouble. So in terms of that defending, that was poor defending from Zinchenko, especially the point of the fact that he left him to go to his left foot. That is terrible. In terms of Salah getting past him, Salah is always going to get past his fullback. I would have preferred the tactics to be Zinchenko and someone else to mark Salah together. That is what they were doing with Saka. Every time Saka had the ball, there was Gomez. The Van Dijk was coming to him as well. Tough for Saka. Every time Martinelli had the ball, Konate was the one who was with Martinelli. Konate is a centre back, but Konate was playing really well, marking Martinelli, and that is Gomez's job. So it means they are doubling up on him. If he goes past Gomez, there's Konate there. So I would have preferred to give Zinchenko help, because we know in terms of one-on-one defending against Salah, we know that he's suicidal. This guy is always going to score. Absolutely suicidal. But I'm not going to scream and say, Zinchenko, get him out and all that. I'm actually watching the goal again right now. Yeah, this was bad defending. And even Gabriel, though, Gabriel maybe should have tried to cover up for Zinchenko, as someone said in the comments here. I just saw a comment here from, let me see. I think it was from, I think it is Ghana who said the reason why is it's him because he's moving forward and the team can't cover up for him. The last part about him covering up, I can see Gabriel, Salah went past Zinchenko and Gabriel stood. You should have covered that as well. You're supposed to go like 2-3 players to Salah. You cannot let him leave him alone. But so that was poor defending. But luckily, the rest of the game, we didn't really give Salah too many chances, although I think he gave Zinchenko a very, very tough time. But you can still learn from your mistakes. We almost gave away a penalty. Let me know. Be honest. Do you guys think this was a penalty? Yes or no? Do you guys think this was a penalty? He definitely handled the ball. I felt like he tripped and handled the ball. It's unlucky. Sometimes it's given, sometimes it's not given. But for that, even if I'm an Arsenal fan and all that, I'm leaning towards 70% penalty, 30% not penalty, because he stopped Salah from getting into the box and probably having a shot. So does it really matter whether you tripped or whatever? Man, Odegaard, Steph Curry, man, he was playing like LeBron James here. Is there anything Odegaard can't do? He can also play basketball. That was incredible. But I do feel like 70% it was a penalty. So we might have gotten away with one there. But let me know. Maybe you guys feel different. But honestly, I still feel like it should be a penalty. If it was given, I wouldn't scream, basically. If it was given, I wouldn't really argue and complain. I know it tripped up, but still a handball, and Salah was going to get off a shot. So we kind of got away with that one. Saka did pick up a yellow card in the first half as well. Tsimikas, by the way, don't want any players to get injured, and Tsimikas collided with Klopp and he got an injury, so get well soon to him. That looked bad because he hit his collarbone on Jurgen Klopp, so hopefully he gets well soon. But you know what? Tsimikas getting injured and going off, it was a bad thing for us, because Gomez is usually not the best defender the previous years. But today he came on and he was absolutely fantastic. So it would have been good for us if Tsimikas didn't get injured and he stayed on the pitch instead of Gomez coming on. Because after Gomez came on, I think, as you can see here, he dealt absolutely well with Saka the whole game. I think he did so well to mark Saka out of the game. And he was even getting forward. Gomez has never scored a goal in his professional career. I was hoping today wouldn't be the first time. But Saka as well. Saka, there's a time they were showing a replay, and then I'm sure most of you, when Saka went through and he passed the goalkeeper and Martinelli put it out. You can be a clean player, but I'm sure Saka, if he failed there, it should be a red card for Liverpool. You have to go down there because there's like 4 players surrounding you and they were all tagging you. You have to go down there. It's not cheating because they're pulling you and they're grabbing you. You have to fall down there because it would have been a red card. So Saka was a bit too honest there. So to win the league, sometimes you also have to be dirty. And it's not even dirty. They were grabbing him. So go down. Don't try to be too honest. Many people, if you watch Suarez back at Liverpool and all those, you have to sometimes, drop down and get the penalty, or you get the free kick, or you get the red card for the opposition player, whatever. Saka was a little bit too honest there. But for Martinelli, you don't put that off target, man. When the goalkeeper is down, you have to put it on target. So Martinelli, he was very good in the first half, but decision making and the final third, basically, he was a bit shaky. But he was very good. He was very lively. But first half, 1-1. I think Havertz got a yellow card just before halftime as well. Halftime 1-1, nothing to complain about. That's a good place to be. 1-1 at halftime against Liverpool. Teams come in, they concede a bunch of goals, so 1-1 is not bad at all. You're hoping in the second half, you can come in, maybe create a couple of more chances and take your chances this time. Last season when we played Liverpool, we played really well in the first half. We were 2 goals up. But in the second half, they destroyed us last season. They should have won that game. They also missed a penalty and all that. They should have beaten us like 4-2, 5-2 last season. I think the same thing kind of happened in the first 15 minutes of the second half. They came and they absolutely destroyed us in the first 15 minutes of that second half. They were winning every second ball. Zinchenko was losing the ball. Odegaard was losing the ball. I think I even saw Rice giving away a free kick and getting a yellow card. I think Havertz slipped and the ball went to Salah as well. You have to survive all that. Either way, you're not going to be perfect in those stadiums and all that. You have to survive sometimes, and we survived those 15 minutes. And I think after that we picked it up again. We could see Zinchenko going forward and picking out passes, Odegaard starting to control things a bit more. Declan Rice, I'm tired of talking about Declan Rice. He's just good every single game. He does not perform against small teams. He was the man of the match against Man City, Man United, Chelsea, and today as well. Again, easily man of the match. Rice, absolutely fantastic. So second half, though, they were a bit unlucky not to score, especially from the time he got a corner kick and he put into the box and Odegaard tried to feint the shot, and there were like 6 players up against 1. I also think in that situation, Declan Rice really defended well, because he would have just committed and Salah would have given the ball through. It would have been onside and it would have been 5 against the goalkeeper alone. I think in that situation, if you watch Declan Rice, he's very quick, because in that situation you're seeing Salah and Trent and all those guys coming to you, you're in big trouble. You can just see Rice, like he was told the goalkeeper, stay back, I'm going to deal with this. He's going to deal with 6 Liverpool players. Who is this Declan Rice guy? Where the hell did we get him from? He dealt with 6 players. I think he defended well, but ultimately they're obviously going to get a shot off because there are 6 players, and we were very lucky in that situation that Trent missed that. I usually don't expect Salah and Trent to waste that opportunity, so we were very lucky in terms of that. They hit the post. Should have been Liverpool 2-1, but after that, heads should have dropped or would have dropped. If this was 4 years ago when we had Maitland-Niles and Luiz and Bellerin and Mustafi and Guendouzi and Pepe and Willock, all those guys, they would have scored another 2 goals in the last 20 minutes. After they hit the post, they would have put us under the cosh. But today we were able to rise up again, and then we saw Havertz starting to control things again. We started winning a couple of corners as well. Trossard came on for Martinelli. Again, the Aston Villa game, I know Martinelli was not good at all, but in that game I wanted Nelson to come on because Aston Villa were playing a high line. I didn't really see the need of bringing Trossard in that particular game. Today as well, Havertz was very good, but I felt like Martinelli's pace in behind, we needed him for 90 minutes. And I felt like Havertz was on a yellow card. So I was like, maybe bring in Trossard for Havertz. I know why he stayed on, but maybe wait until like the 80th minute to bring in Trossard, because Martinelli would have gotten maybe a couple of more opportunities to run in behind. For example, when Saka got the ball and he put the ball through to Trossard and Trossard was one-on-one, if that was Martinelli, that would have been a goal. So maybe should have left him on the pitch for another 10 minutes. But the only thing, Trossard was not great today when he came on, especially from the corner kicks. You cannot get 10, 20 corner kicks against Liverpool. The 4 or 5 that you get, you have to put in a good cross. And a couple of Trossard's corners today were terrible. He hit the first man with them, so I was not happy with that as well. For the rest of the second half, Zinchenko gave away the ball once or twice. We were very lucky to get away with it. Liverpool themselves did give away the ball as well. And to be fair to Zinchenko, the second half, I'm very mad that we let Salah score that goal. It was Zinchenko's error. But the second half, it was not only Zinchenko was giving away the ball. Havertz slipped, Odegaard slipped. I think Saka gave away the ball as well. It was a bit shaky all over the place. So you have to survive. Luckily, none of them cost us. Raya was on his guard today, and Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice. We are very lucky to have those guys, man. So those are the 3 guys that are making me really believe that the guys that are making me really believe that this time we can do something crazy this season. Last season when you went to Anfield, Rice was not an Arsenal player and Saliba was injured. We went there with Holding and I think Jorginho someone. This time you have Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel, and the understanding between them, you can see them throughout the game. They're discussing, they're talking, communication is rare as well. You can see in the last game against Brighton, Saliba is not the captain, but he's very young, but you can see his leadership. Last game, when Mitoma was giving Ben White a bit of a hard time, Saliba told Ben White, you know what, come to the centre-back and I'm going to go to the right-back position for the last 10 minutes. They didn't wait for Arteta to tell them, So leadership, we have leadership there, and all of them are very young players, so I'm very happy to have those players. Nketiah also came on for Jesus. We don't have a lot of bench power. I was just talking to an Arsenal fan right now, and they were like, we don't have a good bench, which is true. Because Partey is injured, Vieira is injured, Timber is injured, Tomiyasu is injured, Smith Rowe is just coming back from an injury. That's why the subs are the same every game. It's Trossard for Martinelli and Nketiah for Jesus. There's nothing much we can do. I don't think he trusts... I would personally bring in Nelson, even if it's for 10 minutes for Saka, because he has the pace and all that. But I don't think... obviously, I'm sure all of you don't trust Cedric and Elneny to come on this one. I'm sure some of you don't trust Kivio to come on in this one. Some of you, I'm sure, don't trust Jorginho to come on in this one. I wouldn't have a problem if Jorginho came on in this particular game because of control. But the rest of it, you don't really have anyone to bring on, because the difference would have been if Partey was on the bench today, you have someone. If Tomiyasu was started and you have Zinchenko on the bench, you have someone to bring on. So January, we definitely have to go for people in January, at least. I'm hoping for 3 players if it's possible, just to boost the bench. I don't want us to go to April and then we are crying again about players getting injured and not having enough players. We need players on the bench. Speaking of players on the bench, I think Nketiah was really good when he came on. He was very good. He was winning the tackles, interceptions as well. He came back like 2 or 3 times. He tackled was it Sabozla or someone before he got a shot off? I think Nketiah, in terms of how many minutes was he on? 15 minutes. In terms of 15 minutes cameos, I think Nketiah was really good for those 15 minutes. He didn't really get a chance in the box, but in terms of defending, energy. And Jesus was the same in the first half. Energy. The last video I've done on this channel, make sure to check it out. I was talking about strikers. Nketiah, Jesus, Solanke scored a hat-trick today, by the way. Maybe we should get him. We talked about Vlahovic and Tony and Osimhen and all those guys. Personally, Nketiah, we can improve on Nketiah for sure, but I would not sell Nketiah in January. The end of the season, yes. Would I get a striker in January? Yes. Get someone to help Jesus and Nketiah. If Nketiah only scores against Burnley and Sheffield and all that, fine. Play him against those teams next year, and let's see what you can do. In terms of 10 minutes, 15 minutes when Nketiah comes on, he really works hard. I wouldn't sell him in January. At the end of the season, that is fine. We can get someone better. But in terms of keeping him until the end, just keep him, because as you saw today, he can help you. Even if it's not every game, he'll come on for 50 minutes and do something for you, which is very helpful. It's very, very helpful. So Declan Rice as well, just absolutely amazing the last 10 minutes, and we were able to survive. I don't think they put us under so much pressure the last 50 minutes as it would have been 3 years ago, like Liverpool having like 20 shots in the last 10 minutes. No, today it was a couple of times, yes, they hit the post and they put the cross in, but we were able to calm down, and Havertz and Odegaard were able to control possession more, and Trossard and all that. And I'm very happy with the draw. As long as if you can't win, don't lose the game. When they come to the Emirates Stadium, you can try and beat them. But when you go to Liverpool, to Newcastle, to Man City, to Chelsea, all those guys, if you pick up a draw, not the end of the world. As long as you win every single home game and don't lose at home, which we don't these days. We don't lose at home. Just try and win every single home game. And then going away, you can pick up a point like this. I think we're happy with the point. I think most of you are happy with the point. I'll ask you on the poll, but let me know if you're happy with the point, yes or no. Let me take a few more comments. Let's see. Sam says much better. I'm somehow happy. Yeah, I'm very happy, man. Going to Liverpool and enjoying, that's great. A couple of better decisions. We could have had 2 goals in that game. But to be fair, we also got lucky. They hit the post. They could have had a penalty. So in situations like that, you just take the draw and you get away from them, man. Ben White needed Jorginho in this game. Maybe Jorginho, if Jorginho comes on, that allows Rice to go to the wings and help the fullbacks more, maybe. Merry Christmas to you all, says Emmanuel. Merry Christmas to you too. Uma says the game was okay, but Zini needs to do more in defending. Martinelli needs to be more direct and stop running to the edge of the box. I'll talk about them in the player ratings, but for Zinchenko, I don't know about improving in defending. I think it's 28 or something, so I'm not sure about him improving. He's not a young player like the rest, like the Sakas and the Martinelli. So we can only do what we can with him. Maybe push him in midfield or not play him in these big games, and the games that we have control, you can play Zinchenko. In terms of going forward, if you watch the whole game and you just watch Zinchenko, some passes are really good. There's a pass that he gave to Martinelli through pass, which is really, really good. And then a bit of control here, and he came back and won a couple of tackles against Salah too. But most of the time, to be honest, when Salah had the ball, I could not look. I was absolutely nervous. I think Mikel does not trust Kivio. I think most fans right now don't. Kivio is not a left back. I don't trust him as a left back. I still think he's a good center back. He's a center back who can actually pass the ball as well. We have a lot of those people who can really pass the ball and create like Zinchenko, but not so much in defending. We need a defender who's just going to be defending, like Saliba. Saliba was just defending. Gabriel just defending, just rugged defending. Maybe a player like that. We need to sign at least one in January. Someone's just going to come and defend, not even go forward. Let Zinchenko go forward and all those guys, you just come and defend. Let's Let's see. Tatamba says, congrats. Ghana says Ben White was poor today. I don't think so, First half, or maybe second half. First half, I think for 60 minutes, he was great. We'll talk about him in the player ratings. Martinelli is too wasteful on the ball today. Yeah, very, very lively. Very, I didn't want him to go off, but in terms of final decision, Stansler says no, it wasn't a penalty because he was going down. Interesting. The Gunners did really well, says Ahmad. It was clear penalty, guys. Second Arsenal found today was not good. Chora says it was a clear penalty. Dre and Timber, see you soon. I cannot wait for him to come back. I think he's in Rwanda right now. I don't know if he's back in England. Today is where I miss Timber most very much. I mean, Timber, I've only watched him for 2-3 games, but you know what he's all about. Tomiyasu is the player I really missed because we've seen him going up against Salah before. Because in a game like this, you don't play Zinchenko, and we don't talk about him that much. Because when you play him in a game like this, he's going to be exposed. Even if you watch Gvardiol at Man City, he gets exposed a lot at left back. It happens. If you're better going forward, especially for a player like Zinchenko, luckily, it wasn't like 5-6 times when Salah went past him. Maybe in the second half, we saw that, and Rice and Gabriel helped a bit more with that. We need some players to take the game to the next level for sure on the bench, because especially when Saka is tired and Odegaard is tired, someone to bring on. And luckily, players like Vieira and Smith-Rowe, maybe they're not. Listen, for me, I'm still going to give Smith-Rowe and Vieira until the end of the season to see how they recover from the injuries and if they can help us in that part of the season. But, someone that you can feel like, okay, we can really bring on this player for Odegaard and it's okay. I don't think we have too many of those. Arteta didn't trust Nelson and Smith-Rowe. Yeah, I was watching Smith-Rowe's highlights from 2 years ago yesterday. Man, I miss him. I really miss him. If you can get that Smith-Rowe from 2 years ago. I had a feeling that callback KTN gets Zinchenko in the middle. Stansler says, the problem with Tierney Stansler, he's injured even now. So he's been injured for like 4 months. You cannot bring Tierney back. He's always injured. That is the problem. Would I have kept him at the beginning of the season? Yes. But the problem with Tierney, he's always injured. He's like Partey and all those. And we have too many of those players. Partey is always injured. Tomiyasu is always injured. Tierney also injured. I'm not sure. We just need to get someone else. I don't think Tierney will play for Arsenal again, unfortunately. Zinchenko should have been removed for who, though, Yusuf? That's the thing. I don't think Kivio did well at left back as well. That's why we need a couple of players in January. Or really pray that Tomiyasu and Timber come back soon. We can get 3 players. It's not easy. They said that he's looking for 4 different positions. I don't think it's possible to get 4 players in January. I've never seen any team really getting 4 players in January, maybe apart from Chelsea. And even them, they usually send them back on loan. It's very tough to get 4 players. It's only possible if you look for players like Trossard and players like Kivio, those cheaper players that are going to make an impact. Because Trossard was a good signing in January and he was very cheap. Kivio was very cheap. Jorginho was very cheap. Maybe we have to look for players like that. We're not going to get players like Osimhen in January. It's too much money. So we might have to get a loan deal or something like that. Saka was poor. The thing with Saka and Martinelli, every time if you watch them, every time they have the ball, there's like 3 players around him. He had Gomez there, Van Dijk there. It's very tough. Decision making, he was still trying until the 90th minute. You could still see him trying to make things happen, but it was tough. But the first half, the one that I'm watching right now, the way he went past and he didn't fall down for a penalty, that was a bit of poor finishing. George is not happy at all with Zinchenko. George says this is one game we've played one less man. Zinchenko is a very average defender. You're probably right with that. I still don't think he's a calamity like Mustafi and Kolasinac and all those guys, but he's not the best defender for sure. That's one I agree with. Who cannot play in big games. You're right. He's wow, that is a bit you see that's a bit over the top. But in this particular game, okay, fine, is garbage. You only need to throw on the pitch when you're playing these average defensive teams. Terrible, everything he does. Again, I don't agree necessarily with everything he does. Going forward, even today, there's a couple of passes that he gave that were really good. Defensively, yeah, not good. We cannot win this league with Zinchenko kind of defending. You are right. In terms of defending against these bigger teams, especially, it's not going to be the answer for sure. I do agree with that, but I don't think he was terrible in everything, as you said. Let's see. Dauda says well articulated. This is a big point that would count a lot in the title runnings. There, don't lose their away games. Don't lose. Try and get a draw. The home games, that is fine. Zinchenko is not good at defending, says Paul. A lot of people are not happy with the defending. Dauda says Havertz is really improving. I'm really impressed with this decision making. We need on the left and right full. We need more left and right fullbacks. I said that a couple of weeks ago, but someone told me, no, we can't just sign defenders because everyone is like a defender gets injured, you sign another one. You're going to have like 12 defenders by the time you get to February, but you definitely need a defender in January. Another defender like Tomiyasu can play left back, right back, centre back. That would be ideal. Let's do the player ratings. Let's do the player ratings before we come to the rest of the comments. So Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1 player ratings. Let's start with the goalkeeper, David Raya. I'm happy that after the Luton game, he hasn't really been exposed because people are like, okay, now let's target him. He's not the best of goalkeepers. Why is Ramsdale not there? I don't think Ramsdale has been Raya has been bad at all in the last couple of games. He made a couple of saves today, David Raya. I think the kicking was okay. The thing that I liked about David Raya today, he was not dwelling on the ball. He was just getting the ball and clearing it. That is what you need to do. Just get the ball cleared. Don't take too much time, because with Salah and Diaz running there, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. So I'm going to give David Raya today. We didn't keep a clean sheet, but I don't think I expected a clean sheet today anyway. So, I mean, conceding 1 goal at Liverpool, I'll take it anytime. And another thing that I think he did well was the crosses. The crosses from Liverpool, the corners and the free kicks, I think he handled most of them well. I'm going to give David Raya 7 out of 10 for today. He was very good. Centre-backs, man, we are so lucky to have these guys. I still think Gabriel is very underrated. He's very good. People only talk about Saliba, but Gabriel is very good as well. Very, very good. I think even when Salah went to centre forward after Gakpo went off, I think they dealt very well with them. Tackles, interceptions. I'll take a look at the stats later, but just from the top of the head from watching the game, I'm going to give Gabriel an I also remember he scored a goal. Okay, I'm going to give him an 8. I was close to giving him a 9, but I felt like the Salah goal when Salah went past Zinchenko, Gabriel was so close to that situation. I think he would have done better in terms of coverings for Zinchenko. But he was great today once again. He scored our goal. Very, very comfortable in terms of winning headers. 74% passing accuracy. Obviously, as I said, he scored a goal too. He blocked a shot as well. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for today, Gabriel. He scored a goal, but I've cancelled that out because it didn't really help Zinchenko in that goal. I felt like he would have done better, but 8 out of 10. Very good performance still. Saliba. Did he even make any errors today, Saliba? I don't think I saw any errors from Saliba at all. I mean, he didn't score a goal like Gabriel, but if you take a look at the stats, 2 tackles, 1 interception, 1 blocked shot, 3 clearances. Man, these guys are so good. But another one that I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. So Gabriel and Saliba both get 8 out of 10. I think they're very good as well. I wouldn't even argue if you gave them a 9, 8 out of 10. Ben White, first half defending was really good. He's putting in tackles. There's a reason why they were passing the ball to the right side. Every time Van Dijk got the ball, Trent, they were passing it to Salah. They were not passing it to Diaz, because the first 20 minutes, Ben White was making very good tackles. He was not getting exposed at all. So they kind of feared this side of Ben White and Saliba, and they went to the other side because this other side was working really, really well. Second half, there's a couple of times the ball was played in behind him. I don't think it's easy to, dribble past Ben White. I think sometimes he loses concentration when the ball is played in behind him, a player goes past him. That's where the problem is. Also, he was going forward a lot of times today, and he was asking for the ball, and Saka and Odegaard are giving him poor passes. He would easily have had a couple of chances created if Odegaard and Saka were more careful with their passes. But again, a clearance, he made 4 interceptions today, 2 tackles. He won half of his ground duels as well, 78% passing accuracy. I don't think it was a calamity. It's no time that I felt like, oh my goodness, it's Diaz against White. So a couple of times he lost concentration, yes, but and again, I do expect that when you're facing Doku, Mahrez, Zaha, these players, they're going to get past you eventually once or twice. So I'm going to give Ben White a 7 out of 10. I don't think he was bad. The next one, Zini. I'm still a big fan of Zini, not his defending though. I still feel like in terms of going forward, he gives us a lot. Maybe that is the solution. maybe you move into midfield or you just don't play him in bigger games, but there's nothing we can do today. We don't have Tomias when we don't have Timber. That is why we need to sort it out in January. Because I feel like we also, he's not the best defender, but in terms of today as well, you're just setting him up for failure. He's up against Salah, and we all know what is going to happen. We all know what is going to happen. Salah can dribble past Kivio, he can dribble past Marcelo, he can dribble past all those players. So Zinchenko is not the best defender. Obviously, he's going to dribble past him as well. Defending for the goal, shocking. You don't let Salah cut into his left foot. That is terrible defending. And even the ball going above his head, very, very poor. A couple of times, I think he dealt well with Salah, tackles, all that. In terms of going forward, he was okay. He won a few tackles in midfield and all that. But even in the second half, there's once where he literally just gave Salah the ball and Rice saved us. It could have been a shot for Liverpool. So in terms of all that, if you put that all that together, let me check the stats as well. He got 2 clearances, 3 tackles. He was dribbled past twice. Shots, he blocked a shot as well. Not the best defender. I'm not going to give him 2 or 3 because I think in some situations he did well. So second half, the errors. The reason we considered a goal is because he left Salah to go to his left foot. Maybe Liverpool would never have scored in that game. So I'm going to give him a 5 average because of the rest of the things that he did. If he didn't do anything at all, I would have been giving him 3 or something. But if you watch the first half and the things that he's supposed to do for us well, the passing and all that, he gave a few passes to Martinelli, through passes and all that. And he still won a few tackles in midfield and interceptions that put us on the attack. So going to give him an average one. But defending against big teams, I would prefer not to see him there because he's not the best defender. 5 out of 10. Hopefully that is fair. Raya 7, Gabriel 8, Saliba 8, White 7, Zinchenko 5. Zinchenko's gotten way less than the others. Declan Rice. I'm not even going to take a look at the stats, man. I watched him and I saw him every single place. He got a yellow card. Maybe in that situation, that's all he can do. Because if you let Salah and those guys, Elliot, go past, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. I mean, is this too high? Is this too high for Declan Rice today? Surely. I saw him even in the last 20 minutes. He was trying to take shots in the opposition box. This guy is absolutely incredible. Now, let me just take a look at the stats. He won half of his ground duels, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, 5 clearances. God. He attempted a dribble, completed it 4 out of 6 long balls as well, 88% passing accuracy. Declan Rice will never have below a 7 out of 10. He's never going to have a bad game, which is just shocking. I still remember the comments from the beginning of the season. Declan Rice is overrated. Why are we paying 100 million for him? I'm very sure there's no Arsenal fan who's saying that now. Not even one out of the millions that we have in the world. I don't think there's anyone who's saying why we paid 100 million for Declan Rice. The question now is, why didn't we pay 200 million or something for him? This guy is absolutely incredible. He's phenomenal. He's one of the best signings that we've made in the Emirates era, alongside the, Sanchez and Aubameyang and all those guys. 9 out of 10 for Declan Rice. Next up is Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, I think he did well. Should he have a penalty? No, I don't think that was a penalty. Should be a bit stronger there, but he's definitely improved the last 5-6 games. There's a reason right now there's not too many people talking about Havertz and, oh my goodness, why is Havertz playing? People are actually asking for Havertz to start instead of Trossard. And, one month ago, people were asking for Trossard to start ahead of Havertz. So happy with the performance for Havertz. Did he do any mistakes? There's a time he fell down, and Liverpool on the attack. But apart from that, I think he was okay. He got a yellow card, which is, I think many players got a yellow card today. I think he was good. I don't think Havertz did anything wrong that was like, again, can he go back to the bench or anything like that? I think he's really improved. I think Havertz has really improved. He's starting to understand the Arsenal system. He's starting to, quicken the game more. I'm seeing him getting the passes and, quickening the game. He also won us like 2-3 dangerous free kicks. He got a tackle as well, an interception in the midfield as well. He didn't lose the position a lot at all. So I was thinking 8, but I'm also thinking 7. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I would be okay if you gave him an 8, but I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 just because of, those slip-ups and that yellow card and all that. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think that is fair enough. I don't know how Liverpool didn't score this chance. 7 out of 10 for Havertz. Odegaard. In terms of the first 20 minutes, he got the assist for our goal. Very, very good free kick from Odegaard. He was the first 20 minutes, him and Martinelli and Jesus, they were very good the first 20 minutes of that game. Second half, you can still see Odegaard trying to make things happen. But the thing that people used to complain about Havertz is he's holding on to the ball too much. There's a couple of times I'm seeing Odegaard doing that as well recently, which I don't like. But he still created a few chances, especially from the free kicks. He put in 2 or 3 very good free kicks. One of them we scored from. Also in the second half, I think he was pretty. I also saw Declan Rice taking our free kicks today, which is crazy. I think Odegaard overall, I don't think he was a disaster, but I don't think he was amazing as well. I just think he did his job in terms of winning the thing that I noticed without even seeing the stats. I saw him like tackling 3 or 4 times in midfield and winning the ball back for us. That is something I'll never underestimate Odegaard and Havertz. They do a lot of defensive work for us, pressing especially as well. Odegaard presses so much and he wins the ball for you so many times in the final third. The only problem in the last 2-3 games, I'm seeing Odegaard and Martinelli doing all the great stuff, but the final products, they're shooting instead of passing, they're passing instead of shooting. Last season, they were very good. They got a lot of goals, and that is because they're making the correct decisions and they're just going for it. Sometimes I'm seeing Odegaard having the chance to shoot, and he's taking too much time. In terms of stats, let me see. He had 3 key passes. One of them was the assist that he got. He also had a shot of 5 tackles. That's not bad for a player like Odegaard. He's a number 10, 5 tackles in midfield that he won. He blocked a shot as well. He had 2 clearances. Oh, he won 7 out of 10 of his ground duels. Can Odegaard play as a defensive midfielder? Maybe if you don't have Declan Rice, he can play as a defensive midfielder. In terms of defending, Odegaard was really good today. Winning tackles and all that, very good. And he got the assist. So if you take all that into consideration, I've also taken into consideration that we put in a corner, and instead of him, crossing the ball back in, he just feinted it and it fell to Salah and they almost scored. They had 6 players against 1. He also lost the ball maybe once or twice. But apart from that, I think in terms of defensive work, Odegaard was really good. 5 tackles for number 10 is really good. 7 out of 10, I think, is fair enough. I think 7 out of 10 is fair enough for Odegaard. Let's go to the wingers. Martinelli. First half, he was very lively. Decision making, not the best, but he was very, very lively. He was giving the Liverpool players a headache, and that is why you could see Trent like running back and trying to defend, because they were very worried about Martinelli. Getting through. He was running all throughout the pitch. He is never getting tired. Very, very good. So. He missed a chance though. He missed a very good chance in the first half. But basically, the goalkeeper was down and he put it off target. There was a lot of players in front of him, but at least put it on target. You never know; it can hit the player's hand and stuff like that. But I'm going to give him a 7 because the first half he was really good in the pace and the running and the commitment, all that very good. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Saka is a tough one. In terms of the first half, Martinelli was very lively. He was more lively than Saka. So far, I've given Saka a higher score than Martinelli, which is weird. He was fouled 2 times. I've forgotten who won the free kick for us when he scored. I'd like to know that. He was dribbled past once. He put in 1 tackle, 1 interception, 1 clearance as well. He also made 3 key passes, Saka. There's a couple of times we were breaking, and I think Saka and Odegaard and Martinelli, they did pick out a few good passes a couple of times where we were counter-attacking. So first half, I think Saka was good, apart from decision-making maybe once or twice. And even the last 10 minutes, Saka was really good. So I don't think he's an average performance. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. It's not easy to play at Anfield against those guys. And I think Gomez was really good. To be fair to them, I think Konate and Gomez were really good defensively. So it's not easy for Saka and Martinelli to compete against 2-3 defenders, especially for Saka's case. Up against Gomez and Van Dijk on that wing, it's always going to be tough. And he did what he could. And Martinelli as well, up against Konate and Trent on that side. They did what they could, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for both of them. Gabriel Jesus, second half a little bit quiet, but first half I think Jesus was incredible, especially the first 20 minutes. He was very good, very, very good. He was winning all the battles, putting in the tackles as well. You have to put in the tackles. I know I'm saying a lot about the tackles with the Odegaard and Jesus and all these guys, but you have to do that at Anfield. You're not going to have the ball throughout the game, and I think Jesus did a lot in that first half. He had a chance in the first half where he put it over the bar. Maybe should have done better with that. But again, he was involved in so many duels. His long passes were all accurate as well. He had 3 shots in the game. He had that 6 touches of the ball. He also had a blocked shot, interception, tackles. All our players had blocked shots today, and they all went back and defended well, I think. So for Gabriel Jesus as well, second half a bit quiet. So that is why I'm not giving him an 8 or anything like that. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I hope that is fair enough. Let me go through it again. Raya 7, Gabriel 8, Saliba 8, Zinchenko 5, Ben White 7, Rice 9, Havertz 7, Odegaard 7, Jesus 7, Saka 7, and Martinelli 7. I don't think I can give them any higher than that. I don't think I can give them any lower than that. Maybe some of you would say 6. I would understand why, decision making and all that, but he was very lively in that first half. Martinelli, you can't watch that game today and say, oh my goodness, Martinelli and Odegaard are all quiet. No, they are not quiet. They are getting involved in everything. Jesus for that first half, Saka that first half, the tackles, all that. So happy that. Bench players, who was the first player to come on? Trossard, a few good touches here and there, but the corner kicks really annoyed me. For those 30 minutes, for those how many minutes? 23 minutes, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Trossard. Nketiah was really good when he came on. I actually think he came on and did slightly better than Martinelli and those guys. So I'm going to give Nketiah a 7 out of 10. I think he did well. He didn't have to score. He didn't score, assist, didn't get any chances. But in terms of winning the ball, in Liverpool's or in our area, he did not just stay forward and just wait for the ball. No, he came back and he helped a lot in terms of helped the midfield. Rice and Odegaard, he helped a lot. So he made 2 tackles, 2 very good tackles in midfield. One of them, I think Sabozla or someone was about to shoot, or Elliott. So very good. So 7 out of 10 for him. Mikel Arteta, you could see he was very happy at that point in the final. When the final whistle went, I think he was very, very happy. We went there, we went for it the first 20, 30 minutes. We did not just park the bus. You know, there's different ways of getting a point. Man United got the point last week. We've gotten the point this week, but we approached it differently. We had shots. We had more than 10 shots today. Let me just confirm that. How many shots did we have today? 13. So we had 13 shots and Liverpool had 13 shots. So we went toe-to-toe. 3 years ago, there's no way we would have gone toe-to-toe with the Mane and Firmino and those guys that would have destroyed us. So we were able to go toe-to-toe. There's a time possession was short and we had like 72 and Liverpool had 28. Maybe need to be more careful with the shots in terms of on target and off target. Possession, Liverpool 51%, Arsenal 49%, not bad. We had more corner kicks. We picked up 5 yellow cards today. We are the most disciplined team in the Premier League, so maybe that will take a hit a bit today in terms of yellow cards. You know, we had one big chance. Liverpool had one big chance, 1-1. We didn't miss any big chances today, but in terms of just, energy and all that, very, very good. Maybe I wouldn't have taken off Martinelli. I would have kept him on unless he was just very tired. So a point at Liverpool, I'm going to give Arteta 8 out of 10. I think that is fair enough. 8 out of 10 at Liverpool. A draw at Liverpool, going toe-to-toe with them. Same number of corner kicks, same number of shots, possession, same as well. I think that is fair enough. We've come a long way. This is 3 times we've gone to Anfield without losing now. You remember there's a time they beat us 4-1, 5-1, 4-0, 5-0. It was dark time. So going to Liverpool and picking up a draw, and some people are not even happy with the draw. That shows you that we've really improved, and that means we're still top of the table. We've gone through Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, all those guys without losing. Man United as well, Tottenham without losing. So we're going to the second half of the season. Before that, you're going to play West Ham, and I think you can go to that West Ham game on a high after picking up a draw at Liverpool. If you don't win, don't lose the game. Man of the match for me, Declan Rice, 100%. I'll put a poll on that one after I finish this live stream, and you guys make sure to vote and let me know who your man of the match was. But if you're watching here, also let me know who your man of the match was. Isaac says, I really like how Saka brought out Tsimikas from the game. And we don't want players to get hurt, but in terms of I actually think it's a bad thing that Simicas got injured, Isaac. I think Gomez came on and defended really well. Simicas is not the best defender, so maybe Saka would have gotten into him more. But what you can say in terms of that is, the physicality and all that. I love to see that physicality from the Sakas and Martinellis. Back in the day, man, people used to call us soft. That time we had Wilshere and Ramsey and Cazorla and Bellerin. Gibbs, we used to be soft. They used to call us soft. They would say Arsenal against Drogba, Arsenal against these guys. They're not going to manage. These days, we have a lot of men in the team. Even Saka is not going to be bullied. He's going to put in the tackles and all that, which I absolutely love. I think Arsenal don't want to break the wage bracket. That's why we don't have some players to take the game to the next level. I think in January, we have to go for it. We're in the round of 16 in the Champions League against FC Porto. Very big chance of getting into the quarterfinal. Let's say if Man City go out of that Champions League or Real Madrid, are you not confident that Arsenal can beat Inter Milan? Arsenal can beat Dortmund. We can go toe with those teams and get a win at home and go there and get a draw, something with our defense. I think we have a very good chance. So this time we have to go for it. Maybe it will mean we have to sell players. I don't know. Paul says Raya 6. I think it's a 7. I don't think he was, but I think his kicking was good. He didn't really make any mistake at all today. So 7, I think, is fair enough. Gabriel 9. I think he was good. I can't argue with him. Saliba 7.9. I think Saliba was really good. I actually think 7 maybe is a bit harsh, but fair enough. 7.9. Yeah, it's a 7 going to 8. So fair enough. I do agree with that actually. Ben White 6. Fair enough. I don't think he got exposed. That's the thing. I think Zinchenko was poor in terms of defense. It's not easy coming up against the Diaz and those guys. Lee says still undefeated versus the big 6 teams. United wins, a draw against Spurs, win against City. You're right, a draw against Chelsea and a draw against Liverpool. The Man United one, we scored later on. All these games, another thing that I love about all these games, they were different kind of games. Man United one, they scored fast. We had to come back from behind. We had to equalize immediately, and then we had to just fight until the end and score 2 last-minute goals. The Spurs one, were the ones who went. That Spurs one still kind of annoys me until today because if we didn't make that mistake, we'd have won that game. I don't think Tottenham would ever have scored. The Spurs one, the only reason I'm fine with the draw is because in that particular game, if you remember, Declan Rice got subbed off at halftime because he got injured. Maybe if he was there in the second half, maybe things would have been different. And also in that game, we were particularly lucky sometimes because Tottenham scored an own goal and all that. Man City one, we saw a lot of good defending in that game. Man City, Haaland, no shots at all. Man City only 1 shot on target or something, and we managed to win that game, different from the Man United one and the Liverpool one. Chelsea, we thought we had lost that game. Bounce back ability, 2 late goals, and we get the draw. Liverpool one today again, a game where you have to go toe-to-toe. You have to defend well. You have to try and create things up front. You have to show a lot of energy in midfield. So I actually think those are very good results. Unbeaten, as you said, Lee, 2 wins and 3 draws. That is good. As long as you beat all the other teams like we've done. You beat Brentford, you beat Luton, you beat Wolves, you beat Nottingham, you beat all the rest, basically. Also, the Fulham one we drew, but we have them next week. Let's hope we can make that correct. But yes, there's a time we could not win at Chelsea. There's a time we just got smashed up at Liverpool. So these are good results. Ghana says, Zinchenko 5. This game gave us a lesson for what is coming our way in the domestic league, Champions League, and maybe the FA Cup. We have Liverpool in the FA Cup, by the way. It's going to be another one. We are playing Liverpool. Today is 23rd. We are playing Liverpool on 7th of January. So 2 weeks again, we're going to go again. We're going to have a similar game. Actually, we are playing Liverpool in January and February. So in the next 2 months, we're going to see Liverpool twice more. And if we had beaten West Ham in the Carabao Cup, we'd have been playing Liverpool in the Carabao Cup as well. It would have been crazy. We'd have played them like 4 times in a month. So we are going to be facing them again. And maybe this time it will be different. I'm hearing Partey will be back for that one. Tomiyasu will be back for that one. And even for them, the likes of Jota could be back. So things will be different. But yes, you're right. In terms of the overall game, it's going to be different. A lot to expect. Thank you very much for the super sticker, AK. I really appreciate it. Maybe I should give that to Arteta so that we can add more defenders. Ghana says one day I want to come live. I'll try and sort that one out. Ghana's Dan says Martinelli is so dangerous. Nice seeing you, Dan. Thank you for the support always. Martinelli is so dangerous, but often makes the wrong decision. Spot on with that. If he had Saka's footballing brain, he'd win the Ballon d'Or. You're very right. In terms of energy and like pace, I could not believe how, like, I know it's quick, but today he was just getting past 5 or 6 players just so easily, man, so easily. So decision making. There's once or twice he did make the correct decision. There's one that he gave a pass to Jesus and Jesus missed it, but I can't really complain a lot. I don't think anyone was a calamity today. Zinchenko defensively, maybe, but I don't think he was like a 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. No, he wasn't exposed like for 90 minutes straight. And the rest of the players, I think they were good. Dan says Saliba is man of the match. Fair enough. Ghana says most of the away games we have played this season with big teams, our display was not good at all. Newcastle one, I agree. Aston Villa one, I disagree. Ghana's Aston Villa game, we were very good. We just missed chances. Actually, both of those games, if you rewatch it, we are very unlucky to lose both of those games. Some would argue maybe you were lucky not to give away a penalty today, fair enough, but I'm an Arsenal fan. So the Newcastle game should have been 0-0. We shouldn't have lost that game if that goal didn't stand. And the Aston Villa one as well, we were so close to getting. We actually got an equalizer that was disallowed. Aston Villa had just outplayed Man City 3 days later, and we completely outplayed Aston Villa. We were very unlucky not to get something from that game. The only 2 games, if I was to say, that have annoyed me this season, Newcastle, in terms of going forward, we were not good at all. Was Jesus there? I think Jesus was injured for that game, right? I don't think Jesus played that game. That game was not good in terms of attack. You didn't create anything. We should have been a 0-0. And maybe the Fulham one, because those 2 points you gave away in the last 10 minutes was terrible, and they had men. For the rest, drawing against Chelsea, it was a day off. We came back. That's fine. Liverpool today, that's fine. Even Tottenham, Rice went off and all that. I think at that time, Tottenham are really playing well. That's fine. And then if you look at the other teams, Tottenham have also drawn with Man City. They've also beaten Liverpool. They've beaten Man United. So Tottenham are not terrible completely. If you look at Liverpool as well, they've drawn with Chelsea. We've also drawn with Chelsea. So it's not like we are dropping points against teams that you should definitely be beating. Gabi, the defender, because he gave the goal and kept us on top. He was very, very good today. Man City game was the best for me so far this season. In terms of lively game, that was a very dull game, but it was just 2 geniuses going up against each other, Pep and Arteta. But the win against Man City, perfect. Dauda says, I think it's time to move on from Partey. Not now, though. The end of the season, fine. But if he comes back in January, the only thing is now, you can't tell a player not to play for his country, but he's going to come back and then play 1 game and then go to the AFCON. And then he's going to come back with another injury. That's the only thing the problem I have. But I would keep him until the end of the season, even if it means he's only going to play in the Champions League quarterfinal and he's only going to play against Man City away. That is fine. Even if it's just 3 or 4 games, I think we're going to need Partey somewhere there, especially if Rice is not there somewhere. If he gets a suspension or something like that, you need Partey to be there. You really need him to be there. At the end of the season, you need to move on. His injury occurrences are hurting the balance of the team. Zubimendi would be a great replacement. We are being linked to Zubimendi. Real Sociedad are doing very well as well. I don't know if he's going to leave in January because they're also in the round of 16. So let's see. The end of the season, you definitely can improve in terms of that one. But I'm really happy with the draw. We got the draw away at Liverpool. Not a bad result. We got used to going to Liverpool and getting smashed up. Make sure to check the poll in the next 5 minutes. Asking for your man of the match. Make sure to vote on that. But hey, we got the point. We were very similar in terms of possession, in terms of shots, in terms of just creativity in the game. Maybe we got away with a couple of situations like this one. And also the time they hit the post, you got away with that. But you also have to ride your luck sometimes when you go to these teams. You have to ride your luck. But I'm very, very happy that draw. Next up, we are playing against West Ham. When are we playing? Let me just confirm that. Is it Thursday? I think Wednesday or something. Let me see. Arsenal fixtures. We have 2 more games this month. So West Ham on Thursday night. Obviously, we'll be live for that one as usual. And then we're also playing on Sunday, New Year's Eve. So, yeah, some other teams are going to play before us, I think. I think the likes of Aston Villa and Liverpool are going to play before us. So we could be going to that game 3rd on the table or something, because Liverpool are playing Burnley next. But again, in the Premier League, you never know, man. Since Luton gave us that game and I saw Aston Villa drawing with Sheffield yesterday, you never know. So West Ham next, and then Fulham next. 2 London derbies. We are very good in London derbies. I think we haven't lost in like 30 London derbies or something, almost 30, 20 something there. And then after that, we have the FA Cup against Liverpool. So yeah, we have 2 more games, and then we play Liverpool again in the FA Cup. And then if you look at that, after that, Crystal Palace, Nottingham, Liverpool again. Bloody hell, we are playing Liverpool every 2 games. Apart from Liverpool, there's some good fixtures there. Burnley, West Ham. We're not playing the big teams until like April, May. So we can get a run going, hopefully. Last season, we were able to win 5 games in a row 3 times, different times at the beginning of the season, just before the World Cup, and in January, February. We also won 7 games, I think, in January, February of this year. This time, we've not been able to win 5 games in a row. I think the most has been 4 games in a row. Can we be able to like get a run going and, get 4 or 5 wins in a row again and, leave Man City behind? How many points are we behind? Ahead of Man City now. Actually, you know what? I can bring up the table. Let's take a look at the table. Last thing, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. We need him to rest Rice. I agree. Rice, Rice is playing every single day. That doesn't even get benched. Even in the PSV game, he just comes on. Let's take a look at the table. Let's do this. Not bad at all. Not well, we're on the table as it loads. If it decides to load, they don't want us to see the table. Let it load. Let it load. We need him to rest Rice. Very, very right, Gunners. There's rumors that he will be back for that FA Cup game against Liverpool. So we will need him in that game. We will need him. We need Rice to be rested somewhere, especially Rice and Saliba. These guys are going to be the reason if we win something, which we should this season. It's going to be Rice and Saliba helping us out. So final thing, let's take a look at the table and then and enjoy Christmas once again on top of the table. Last season we were top at Christmas, we didn't win it. Hopefully this time we do. So Arsenal are top with 40 points. Liverpool are second with 39, then Aston Villa 39. Again, goal difference, I think we have 20. Liverpool have 21. Man City have 20 as well. So we're on the same goal difference as Man City. Man City are 5th on the table. Do you know the last time we saw Man City 5th on the table? Goodness me. But yeah, next up, it's West Ham. West Ham, I've just watched them the last 2 games. As in, I've watched them the last 2 games against Liverpool and against Man United. They do have some threats. The Bowens and the Kudus, they're going to attack as well. So you need to score a few against them to win. And then after that, it's Fulham in 12th. Bournemouth are doing incredibly well. But we can enjoy top of the table. We are almost in the middle of the season after the West Ham game, and just 2 losses in the middle of the season. I don't think that is bad, man. I think many people would be happy with that for sure. Many people would be really happy with that. Top again, considering everyone was saying, Arsenal is going to be 3rd, 4th, 5th this season. They cannot do it again. It's good. We've been able to, put our heads, keep our heads up and come back again and try and win another a league title. That's great. And as Ghana says, that nice way to finish it. Merry Christmas, brother. Merry Christmas to you and to everyone else watching. Our next game is after Christmas, so let's hope we can get something out of that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.